Hello, dear friends. Someone accused me of being a Pharisee for not getting involved in the tragedy of the war or reporting the sinister eschatological details. It's no use when we can't help. It only serves to lower our frequency, which is what they intend. The negative is reinforced when we pay attention to it, awakened when we focus on the positive. But people ignore the loss of mentalism. The only thing to focus is on the worldwide outcry against war. Opinion piece. The oldest pyramid, is it 27,000 years old? Built in several layers. It is on the island of Java. Mountain of Enlightenment. Challenges established theories. Intriguing chambers and cavities. Comparable to Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Advanced and unknown ancient civilization. Worldwide rejection of war in the Middle East. Let's start. Between 25 and 14,000 years BC would be the origin of the oldest pyramid on Earth, called Gunung Padang, located on the island of Java, which defies established theories about the abilities of ancient civilizations. Although new details of this megalithic structure have been discovered, this antiquity was already known, but the topic was conveniently silenced because it turned the entire official history of humankind upside down. A multidisciplinary team of Indonesian researchers has revealed details about a giant pyramidal building hidden beneath the slope of Mount Padang in West Java, which may be one of the oldest megalithic structures ever built by humankind, and potentially the oldest pyramid of the world, which implies the existence of an advanced and unknown civilization, ancient civilization. The exceptional hillside is sacred to locals, who call this type of structure Punden Berundak, meaning stepped pyramid because of the terraces that lead to its summit. The multi-layered prehistoric pyramid of Gunung Padang, or Mountain of Enlightenment in the local language, houses a complex underground construction with intriguing chambers and cavities, according to a recently published article in Archaeological Prospection. Description: located 8,085 meters above sea level, the site covers a hill, an extinct volcano, in a series of five terraces bordered by stone retaining walls accessed by 370 successive andesite steps rising about 95 meters. It is covered by enormous hexagonal stone columns of volcanic origin. Gunung Padang consists of a series of five artificial terraces, one rectangular and four trapezoidal, which are located 1 to 5 and successively higher elevations. These terraces also become successively smaller with elevation, with the first terrace being the lowest and the largest, and the fifth terrace being the highest and the smallest. Various layers. The carbon 14 dating carried out in the recent study supported the long history of the construction, made of multiple layers raised one above the other, during successive periods and spaced with pauses of different lengths. The oldest construction, Unit 4, probably originated as a natural lava hill from an extinct volcano before being sculpted, and then architecturally covered during the last ice age. Gunung Padang was subsequently abandoned for thousands of years, causing significant erosion. Around 7,900 to 6,100 BC, Unit 3 was deliberately buried with substantial layers of soil. The researchers determined that approximately a millennium later, between 6000 and 5500 BC, Unit 2 was built. Finally, Unit 1, with its shallow stone terraces, was built on top of Unit 2 more recently, between 2000 and 5500 BC. When researchers traced the interior of the hillside using seismic waves, they found evidence of hidden cavities and chambers, some up to 50 meters long and with ceilings 10 meters high. The antiquity of Gunung Padang is best understood by comparing it with Göbekli Tepe, a huge stone group shrine in modern-day Turkey, which has so far been considered the oldest human-made megalithic dating back 11,000 years. Intrigue. The study's authors argue that these findings challenge the conventional belief that human civilization and the development of advanced construction techniques emerged only during the war period of the early Holocene or early Neolithic, with the advent of agriculture approximately 11,000 years ago. Evidence collected at Gunung Padang suggests that advanced building practices were already present when agriculture may not have yet been conceived. The constructs of Units 3 and 2 must have possessed notable masonry skills, which do not correspond to traditional hunter-gatherer cultures. The burial of these structures about 9,000 years ago adds more intrigue, as it would respond to reasons that are not fully understood. Scientists believe that more excavations are needed to determine who these prehistoric people were and why they built the things they did. Not to the war. The UN condemns the attacks against ambulances, global rejection against the bombing of hospitals, schools, and civilian refugees. The punishment of the civilian population violates the Geneva Convention. Thousands of people demonstrate across Europe to ask for a ceasefire. In London, Paris, and Berlin, many thousands of citizens gathered to ask for an end to the conflict. Arab countries call for an unconditional ceasefire from Jordan. Atlantis sank because its technical magic began to greatly surpass its moral sense, just as it happens here and now. This is the usual form on decline, whenever a culture enjoys rapid technological advancement without ethical advancement. It is an old story. Economy. People are experiencing an economy that is heading toward a depression. Corporate bankruptcies are increasing. Global shipping is collapsing. Manufacturing is declining. Unemployment figures are manipulated. Warren Buffett's company loses 12.8 billion as investments fall. Robert Kiyosaki describes as "fool and losers" in quotes all those investors who insist on continuing to invest their money in treasury bonds and stocks. In this context, many central banks have entered a gold rush, breaking purchase records so far this year. A barrel of oil could reach $115 due to the war. The economy could face an energy shock due to the war, according to the World Bank. Former cryptocurrency traders say no thanks, even as Bitcoin responds strongly. Bitcoin falls, but bullish bets accumulate. Traders expect $50,000. Global demand for gold declines. Although people have been eager to buy gold bars at Costco, global demand for gold fell slightly in the third quarter compared to the last year, but remains strong according to the World Gold Council. China suffered a liquidity scare. A brief crash shortage shook China's money markets earlier this week, illustrating how the country's tightly managed financial system is under pressure from the avalanche of government debt sales. Chile navigates between the US and China, in quotes, do not fall into the trap of the logic of the commercial Cold War. Russia estimates that EU losses due to sanctions at 1.5 billion. Curious. Jupiter's great red spot turns blue in a new image from the Hubble telescope. The four members of the Beatles play together for the first time in decades in a new video. The video for the song Now and Then was directed by Peter Jackson, winner of 3 Oscars. Apparition in Egypt kept hidden for 3 years. When King Herod gave the order to kill all children under 2 years of age, Mary and Joseph took the child Jesus to Zaytoun, Egypt, and precisely the Divine Mother appeared to more of 1 million people who traveled to Zaytoun. Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, and people of all religions witnessed this miracle, and it continued for 3 years. It is the largest Marian apparition of all time, according to the documentary about Our Lady of Zaytoun. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.